They say home isn't just a place, it's a feeling. And for me, that feeling lived in a small yellow house at the end of Willow Street. It smelled like cinnamon and old books. Every creak in the wooden floor carried a memory. My dad's laughter, my mom's humming, the sound of rain against the window when I couldn't sleep. I grew up believing that house would always be there. It was more than just walls and rooms. It was the heart of who I was. When my dad passed away, the world outside kept moving, but inside that home, time seemed to stop. My mom barely spoke, and I found comfort in the echoes of what we'd lost. Years passed. I moved away for work, trying to build a life that felt new. But every holiday, every phone call with Mom, I'd ask the same question. "How's the house, Mom?" And she'd always say the same thing. "Still standing, sweetheart. Still waiting for you." But when I finally returned, 7 years later, something felt wrong. The road looked unfamiliar, emptier somehow. And where our little yellow house once stood, there was nothing but an empty lot and a for sale sign half buried in the dirt. I froze. My chest tightened as if someone had taken the air out of me. I thought maybe I'd taken a wrong turn. Maybe I was lost. But no, the old oak tree was still there, the one Dad planted when I was 5, only the house was gone. That's when I saw her, my mother, standing by a neighbor's gate, clutching her purse like she didn't belong there either. And the look in her eyes told me everything, before she even spoke a word.
"Mom?" I whispered, my voice shaking as I stepped closer. She didn't look surprised to see me standing there, almost like she had been waiting for this moment. Her eyes were tired, swollen, and full of something I couldn't read. Guilt, maybe, or regret. "Where's the house, Mom?" I asked. My words came out smaller than I expected, almost childlike. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Just a breath that broke halfway through. Then she said softly, "It's gone, sweetheart. I sold it." For a moment, I thought I'd misheard her. Sold it? Without telling me? The air between us grew heavier, thick with a silence that hurt more than her words ever could. "Why, Mom? Why would you do that?" She looked away, staring at the dirt as if the dirt could swallow the truth for her. "You wouldn't understand," she said. "That house wasn't home anymore." I could feel my throat closing up. "Not home? It was everything to us. To me." My voice cracked, and she flinched like every word hit her. She reached for my hand, but I pulled back. "You should have told me," I said quietly. Her lips trembled, eyes glistening with tears she tried to hide. "I wanted to," she whispered, "but every time I tried, I saw your father's face. I heard your laugh echoing in those rooms." She took a long, shaky breath. I couldn't stand the memories anymore. I wanted to scream, to cry, to ask her how she could just erase the place where we lived, loved, and lost. But the words never came. All I could do was stare at her, this woman who looked so much smaller than I remembered, standing in front of the life she'd buried. And I realized maybe the house wasn't the only thing she was trying to let go of.
That night, sleep wouldn't come. every time I closed my eyes, I saw the empty lot again, where our house once stood. I could still feel the shape of my bedroom, still trace the lines of the kitchen table in my mind. But reality kept whispering, "It's gone." I stayed in a small guest room at my aunt's place. Mom slept down the hall, quiet as if the world outside had already forgotten us. In the stillness, I heard her breathing, slow, heavy, and for a moment, I almost went to her door. Almost, but I didn't know what to say. The next morning, she was gone early. No note, no breakfast, just silence. I sat alone at the table, tracing circles in the dust, until something caught my eye. An old wooden drawer half open beneath the counter. Inside was a letter, folded, yellowed, fragile. My hands shook as I opened it. The handwriting was unmistakable. My dad's. My throat tightened as I began to read. "If you're reading this," it began, "then maybe I'm not around anymore. But promise me, Laura, promise me you'll do what's best for her. Don't let this house hold her down. Let her live her life, even if it means letting go." I sank to the floor, the letter trembling in my hands. My dad, he had asked her to let go. He'd asked her to sell it. For me. All these years, I thought she'd betrayed me. But maybe she was just keeping a promise. Maybe she was trying to set me free from a past I couldn't stop clinging to. And for the first time since I came back, the anger in my chest started to fade, replaced by something softer, something that almost felt like forgiveness.
I sat there for a long time, holding that letter like it was the only thing keeping me together. The ink had faded, but my father's words felt alive, like he was right there in the room with me, guiding me to see what I had refused to see. When Mom came back that afternoon, I was still at the table. She froze when she saw the letter in my hands. For a moment, neither of us spoke. There was only the sound of the clock ticking, slow and heavy between us. "You found it," she whispered. I nodded, trying to keep my voice steady. "Why didn't you tell me, Mom?" Her eyes filled, and her shoulders sagged like she had been holding her breath for years. "Because every time I looked at you, I saw how much you missed him, how much you missed that house." She paused, wiping a tear with the back of her hand. "I couldn't stand being the one to take it away from you." I stood up slowly and walked to her. For the first time, I saw not the mother who sold my home, but the woman who had lost her husband, who had carried both our grief in silence. Her eyes were red, her hands trembling as she reached for me. This time, I didn't pull away. We sat together on the couch, and she told me everything. How the house had started falling apart, how she had tried to fix it but couldn't afford the repairs. How she'd read Dad's letter 100 times before finally signing the papers, and how she'd kept it all to herself because she didn't want me to hate her for doing what she thought was right. I listened quietly. There were no angry words left, no accusations, no walls between us, just two people who had loved the same home, lost the same man, and misunderstood each other for too long. In that moment, I realized maybe love isn't about holding on. Maybe it's about knowing when to let go, together.
It's been a year since that day. I still drive by the old street sometimes. The house looks different now. New paint, a trimmed yard, laughter spilling out from a family I've never met. And for the first time, it doesn't hurt. It feels right. Mom and I talk every Sunday now, not out of obligation, but choice. Our conversations are softer, filled with stories instead of silence. We cook together, share photos, and sometimes we even laugh about the past, how stubborn we both were, how long it took to understand each other. One evening, as we sat on her porch watching the sunset, she reached over and held my hand. "You know," she said quietly, "I thought losing that house meant losing him." I smiled, the kind of smile that comes after the tears are gone. "We didn't lose him, Mom. He's right here. Every time we forgive, every time we start again." She squeezed my hand gently, and for the first time in years, I felt peace settle between us. Not the fragile kind that breaks with words, but the kind that grows from truth. We sat there as the sky faded from orange to blue, and I realized something beautiful. Home was never just those walls or that porch swing. Home was the warmth of a hug, the sound of her voice, the lessons carried in every goodbye. Now, when people ask me where I'm from, I tell them, I come from love that survived the storm, from a mother who did her best even when it broke her, from a house that may be gone, but a bond that never will be. So here's what I've learned. We don't lose home when we leave it behind. We carry it with us, in the stories we tell, the forgiveness we give, and the hearts we learn to open again. That's where home truly lives.